My favorite saying at the moment, and I think it is so abundantly true, is the bar is on the fucking floor. When it comes to, well, pretty much anything in life at the moment, in society, in anything, the standard of what is acceptable, call it discipline, call it health, call it wealth, call it relationships, call it effort, call it, any of those things. The bar is literally on the floor. And I had a discussion with someone the other day and talking about my kids and the bar being on the floor and setting the example early of discipline and follow through and finishing and all this kind of stuff. And I think it's the greatest opportunity in the world as a parent to provide that for your children, because the bar is on the fucking floor. The standards are so low that if my children show up with any form of discipline, of any form of ability to follow through, to work hard, to do anything of this nature, well, they're going to dominate. They're going to dominate in this world. And I already see it. My daughter is 4 and my son is 3. And they do jiu-jitsu. And my daughter is dominating kids who are 5 and 6. Purely because, well, we don't mollycoddle her. Because we teach her follow through. And sometimes that means people think that we are incredibly harsh. And people look at us funny. But I am setting my daughter and my son, up to succeed in this life. And part of that comes from the standards that you set. And so we had one today, for example. My daughter was riding her bike and she fell off. Nothing bad, really slow, all that kind of stuff. She threw a colossal tantrum about this and about how the bike was stupid and how everything was stupid and all this kind of stuff. So we dealt with the big emotions, told her it was unacceptable to react like that. It's okay to be frustrated and angry, but we don't yell and scream and stomp our feet and then yell at the people who are trying to help. That is not what we do. And then I was like, you have to get back on your bike. And the parent we were with was like, gave us this side eye of like, what? But it's that lesson of, we don't quit because something went wrong. We don't quit because it was hard. We don't quit because it didn't work out the way we want. We follow through. That is one of the greatest gifts you can give, yourself, but especially your children. There is nothing that will trump that in life. The ability to get back up and follow through on what you said you are. Most people will not start. Most people will not commit to things. Most people will not get in the arena. They will not put something on the line for it. And do you know why? It's because you don't believe in your own follow through. You don't believe that you will actually do the work that's required. Because let's be honest here, if you had a track record of doing everything you said, no matter what it was, that you followed through, that if you said it was getting done, it was getting done. End of story. Period, full stop. If you did that, if you had that track record, you would invest anything. You would sign up to do anything. You would take on any challenge because you knew who you were. No cost would be too great. No investment of time, money, effort would be too great because you know who the man you are. You know who you are deep inside. You know that you are getting it done. And here's the difference. The reason why you won't start, the reason why you won't invest in you is not because of the program, not because of what it is, not because of the effort, the time commitment, all that kind of stuff. It's because you don't believe that you will get the same results because you won't do the work. Now let's just take fitness programs, for example. A lot of them are very similar. A lot of coaches teach very similar. A lot of coaches And programs are based on the same principles because there are only so many principles out there. Yeah, there are different tweaks and executions and all that kind of stuff. But at its core, there is only so much that out there. What separates is the ability to get people to buy in and the ability of that person to actually do the work. It's why the difference between you and your mate John from down the road, who got incredible results doing the same program as you, because he followed through and did the work. More times than not, that is the only difference. That we've put the bar on the fucking floor. And the reason why we don't succeed is not because of the program or what was the task or what it would be. It's that we didn't follow through. We didn't actually show up and do the work. That's it. That's the differential. And that's the difference maker. That's why most people will not actually succeed. Because they've set their standards so phenomenally low that the chance of them actually following through and doing the work is next to none. It is basically non-existent. And that's an issue. It's an issue on so many levels that must be addressed. But it's a psychological issue. It's a mental issue. It's a how you train your brain thing. And here's the thing. Discipline, mental toughness, follow through, grit, determination, all these kinds of things. And I don't know about you, but they are things that I pride myself on. They are skills that can be developed and must be practiced and trained daily. Daily. It's why I don't miss. It's why there are no days off. It's why it's every single day. Because each time you create a new program of who you are, every time you say, oh, I can miss this today because insert excuse, you are creating a new neural pathway that says, oh, if this arises again, I'm allowed to bitch out. I'm allowed to stop. You must keep rewiring your brain and don't miss. And I get pushback and people are like, oh, you don't need to work out every single day. No, you don't. That's correct. You can get into pretty great shape on 3 to 4 times a week, especially if you work pretty hard. You don't need to do it every single day. But we're playing a bigger game. We are playing a much bigger game here because most people also don't have the discipline to do that workout long term. They don't have the follow through to continue doing the work. So doing it every single day teaches you that skill. It actually gives you freedom because you don't need to think about it. You don't need to ask the question of, how am I feeling? How has my day gone? What have I got going on today? Do I have time? No. This is what's happening every single day, no matter what. And you figure it out. And sometimes that means you make hard decisions, and sometimes that makes your day really long. But it reinforces that you're a man who has credibility. You're a man who has receipts that he will do the work, no matter what the situation. And that is a skill that's worth its weight in gold. And that is worth everything. But as I said, the bar is on the floor for this one. I got a hilarious comment on one of my videos where I was talking about, making healthier choices so that you weren't fat. Making the choice so that you could be a healthier version of yourself. And the comment I got, it cracked me up, especially because of the irony of the situation. And he was like, well, how about you get some chalk and draw a circle around yourself and you just worry about that, nothing else. And I was like, do you not get the irony of watching someone else's videos and then commenting on said videos about how they should just worry about themselves when you're clearly gotten triggered for me saying that maybe you should be healthier? Like, often I talk about how we shouldn't be fat and how that is shameful and you are letting down your family by being out of shape. Those ones, yeah, I can see where you're coming from on those ones. I firmly believe that because you are setting the standard. You are not the best version. You are not healthy. You are not fit and capable for your family. All those kinds of things. I firmly believe those, and they are truthful statements. But I can at least come at where you're going. But me being like, maybe you should get a little bit healthier. Oh, fuck, bro. You can't be saying that shit. You're calling me out because I don't want to, because it's hard and makes me uncomfortable. Bar is on the fucking floor. The things that people get triggered by and offended by and think are outlandish. We discussed a couple of weeks ago. I discovered that apparently working out 4 times a week for 45 minutes is considered extreme discipline. The bar is on the fucking floor. Did you know that if you exercise vigorously, for 3 times a week, it puts you in the top 5%. Bar is on the fucking floor. That 2/3 of our population are considered obese or overweight. On the fucking floor. That they're estimating that 1/4 of the population will reach full sedentary status, as in less than 1,000 steps a day. The bar is on the fucking floor. You just have to not be fat. You just have to eat a little bit healthy. You just have to do a little bit of exercise, and you are miles above average. But we ain't here to play above average. We are here to demand greatness, to be the greatest version of ourselves, to find the way to excel in every single area of our lives. Because also, why the fuck not? Why wouldn't that be the goal? Why shouldn't we aim to succeed and be the best and consistently push forward? And that doesn't mean competing against others. It means competing against you, but being the greatest version of you. And yes, that does start with being strong, fit, and healthy. Because you don't serve no one if you are crippled by a disease or if you die early. You have to be strong, fit, and healthy. You have to be capable. You have to be able to take on anything that life throws at you. And that means looking after the vehicle that provides for your life, your body. I don't understand why we continually have to have this discussion. But it's because the bar is on the fucking floor. It is time to wake up. It is time to actually man up and make a decision for you, for your children, for your wife, for those who love and adore you, for those who believe in you, to look after the greatest asset in your life, you. And people are like, well, what about family time and kids and all that kind of stuff? You're doing it for them. They need you to be this version. They need you to step up and lead by example. They need you to be strong, fit, and healthy. These are the things that set the standard. These are the things that will give the greatest gift of health and fitness to your children so that they don't have to unlearn these habits. That they can grow up having had these things ingrained in them. This isn't selfish, it is selfless. You must be the greatest version of you for everyone you care about. It doesn't mean neglect them. It doesn't mean ignore them. It doesn't mean cut out on family time. It means finding a way to fit it in. And barring you working 16 hours a day, I think you can figure it out. Even if it means including them. I take my children on the walks with me. My children watch me work out and watch my wife work out. There are ways to do it if you are willing. The problem is that you aren't willing to sacrifice your comfortabilities, your niceties, your easy-going life, the things that do not serve you and are actually detrimental to your life. You are not willing to sacrifice them for the life that you want, need, and deserve, that your family want, need, and deserve. So it is time to pull your head out of your ass, to step up, to stop accepting the bar on the floor, and set the standard. Not to just be slightly above average, but to lead by example, to be the greatest version of yourself, to do the work. It is not going to be easy, but it is definitely going to be worth it. It is going to be the greatest decision that you have ever made in your life. So if you are ready for that, if you're ready to stop pussyfooting around and stop getting triggered because someone told you that maybe you should get into shape, maybe you should look after yourself, maybe you should do the work, well, now is your moment. Now is your moment. They're calling it the Great Lock-in, heading towards the end of the year. On Monday, there was 123 days till the end of the year. Let's do a 126-day cycle. You can start today and get ready. You can finish through to the end of the year strong, run through the end of the tape, and finish it off the way it was meant to. Being the greatest version of you. And you can enter 2026 on a high with new habits, looking forward to being even better than before. So if you're ready for that, if you're ready to start demanding greatness, to stop settling for this soft cockness, then click the link in my bio or comment demanding greatness. Let's see who you can be on the other side. Can't wait to see you then.